STD is at it again, this time on Ashes of Typhon, bringing you a 1v1 with Mostafa, playing as the Chaos Sorcerer and going to be fighting against the legendary Deimos, playing as the Force Commander. What a classic matchup, you gotta love it, the brutal early game offensive that the Force Commander can do against the Chaos Sorcerer, countered by, potentially, some very powerful Doom Balls, which will cook any tactical Space Marines that come out in the early game, but then the ASM are out. The ASM are putting on extreme pressure, the Heretics are getting blown up by grenades, flamers, getting knocked all over the place, and the Chaos Sorcerer feels bad. But then the Chaos Sorcerer gets tier 2 with the Robes of Torment, and the ASM and the FC then themselves start to feel quite bad. But we'll see how it plays out in this matchup. It looks like so far pretty conventional builds from both players. Tactical Marines are going to encounter that Chaos Sorcerer, and here comes some Doom Bolts, and they were very good Doom Bolts. Tactical Marines already down below half of their maximum HP. They're just going to retreat out of there. They don't want that engagement. They're really low on HP. Any further Doom Bolts, especially if he can regenerate his energy back up to 100, potentially by consuming a Heretic, will inflict a lot of pain onto those Tactical Marines. So they're just going to go back and heal it off. Chaos Sorcerer does really overextend there. No reason to push that any further once he's seeing the attacks retreating, I don't think. It's not like the Chaos Sorcerer is going to be bashing Power Nose very quickly. So now the Chaos Sorcerer does actually end up forced off himself. Is there a bit of a skirmish down here? No, not yet. And the Force Commander is engaging the CSM. And both the Heretics are on VP capping duty, but the problem for those Heretics down by the natural of Mostafa is that Deimos have some scouts poking away at him. The scouts are very annoying because Heretics are only speed 5, scouts are speed 6.5. So if they are microed correctly, the Heretics should in theory never catch the scouts, and they can do this, and it's just really annoying. Now the FC inflicts some good damage onto the CSM, but eventually backs off. I guess he didn't want to overextend too much. Ooh, bit of a missed micro from Deimos there, didn't move his scouts. The Heretics got into charge range, and obviously could prevent them from fleeing using the Doom Blast. Though, you know what, I probably would have waited a little bit to see if the Heretics would have Doom Blast, because then that's another dead Heretic before I retreated. It's unlikely that with this few models, the Heretics would have actually killed a scout. Just something to think about, Deimos. But yeah, Heretics walking into a pretty awkward position there, getting shot by bolters from Tactical Marines. They're not going to last long. Drop another model and back off. CSM going to get a decap, and it's going to be a nice early VP lead for Mostafa. Well, to be fair, he's already down 20 VP somehow. But I think... oh, because he never actually managed to finish capping his natural. Oh, I didn't even realise that. Oh dear. Not much of a lead then. Okay, Noise Marines moving in now. Noise Marines have been really driving me mad recently because of the volume of them. What can you do? Here they go, they're going to shake down these generators. Tactical Marines can come over and actually beat them up in melee. Oh, no need, because the Assault Space Marines are here. Talk about a fantastic counter to Noise Marines. Really staying in there quite long from Mostafa. I don't really know why he felt the need to stay in that long. Dropping a Noise Marine model kind of unnecessarily, but there's double Aspiring Champion Heretics coming in. This is not an engagement Deimos wants. One of them running through and attacking the Tactical Marines so they can't shoot their bolters, the other one focusing on the ASM. I don't know why Deimos is just standing here. This is not good. Really high value Doom Blast there, affecting both the squads, and 2 Tactical Marines fall. I don't know if Deimos... oh, he mustn't have been focusing on it. He was focusing on the FC who was fighting over here. And I guess that was nice. His FC won with very little HP and managed to take out the Chaos Sorcerer. But unfortunately, he did lose 1 ASM and 2 Tactical Space Marines, which is pretty big. That's 225 requisition and 7 power down the drain to the 250 plus whatever Heretics were lost. Quite a lot of Heretics, to be fair. 7 here, 2 here, so 9 in total, which is like what? 113 requisition, I think. Wow, so Mostafa did lose a lot of requisition there. Space Marine only lost 225. Mostafa lost like 370 or something, 360-ish. And I really do think he really should get his Chaos Sorcerer back, because those Doom Bolts can be so impactful against the heavy infantry. It can be very tough to wipe models otherwise. As you can see here, the AC takes quite a while. We're slapping those ASM and they don't get any model kills because they just got so much HP. But if you soften them up with a nice Doom Bolt before you engage, it'll go so much better for you. CSM always isolated down the bottom, but that makes sense because the CSM really aren't going to be that effective against this composition, whereas the CSM will be really good against scouts, who are the most likely unit that they're going to encounter down on the side of the map. So a little bit of an attempted gem bash coming out here. I was going to say we don't have a flamer yet, so it's not going to be fast, but we do have a flamer now. Will we see For the Emperor being dropped on the Tactical Marine Flamer? It is an option. Make him gem bash faster. Probably wouldn't give you enough time to get rid of that generator. Probably would actually, to be honest. Yeah, it definitely would, because you got to remember it would have destroyed the other generator faster as well. Not necessary though, because he actually forces melee on the generator, which was a very wise play actually. So he finishes it off in spite of being tied up in melee. Battlecry did come down from the Force Commander. It's just kind of chasing after the Noise Marines now. I don't like these jumps with the ASM. Another 2 ASM model goes down there. I mean, they just jumped into double Aspiring Champion Heretic. That is their counter. Why are they jumping into that with no support? You know, perhaps if the Force Commander was there with Battlecry ready to go to knock over things and give the damage boost, and there was potentially some Shotgun Scouts, not Bolter Scouts, then I'd get it. But yeah, in that instance, I don't know. However, Mostafa's kind of making mistakes as well, fighting with the Heretics against the FC there. I don't really think that was a great idea, but then again, I think he did it to occupy the FC, so the FC wasn't tying up the Noise Marines, so then the Noise Marines can get off their Jet Bash. So yeah, maybe it was a good play. He should just be retreating straight out. I don't like this cacophony shit. As soon as he's seen the ASM flying through the air towards his low HP Noise Marines, he should have just retreated. Because the problem is that jump units get immunity to knockback for, like, is it 3 seconds? Is it 5 seconds? A few seconds. And man, that could have been enough to kill another Noise Marine model. I think that's an unnecessary risk. Just retreat straight out. Nice play here from Deimos. I like both of his splits actually. Ooh, we're going to see a shotgun into grenade. Maybe. Yep. So he's split pushed beautifully here. He's set himself up in a prime position for a grenade. Oh, nice! Uses the Warp Global to dodge the grenade on his retreating CSM. Great little series of plays there. That could very well have wiped that CSM squad out. That was looking like a beautiful nade. And meanwhile, Deimos pushed up his tack flamers on the side. Gonna burn down this power node. Great value play. Now I hope he retreats straight out with his tactical marines and doesn't take any losses here. He does, that's fine. Yeah, they're tanky enough. They're not going to lose a model here because they had full HP. So really nice value play there from Deimos. A couple of plays in a split push, costing Mostafa his power node and also 75 red and putting that Warp Global on cooldown. Never a bad thing. Chaos Sorcerer has some really good globals, so every time you do something like that, where you force him to use his global, it's great. Demonic Summoning in Tier 2, I mean that is an engagement winner for the army versus army engagements, and unfortunately the Force Commander really doesn't have an equivalent. I guess a well-timed drop pod could be, but the problem is you have to pay requisition for that as well, not just red. Alright, there's going to be a Chaos Dreadnought coming out for Mostafa. Honestly, kind of surprised how much resources he has. Where the hell are all the resources to Deimos going? I guess he did go fully upgraded, well, one fully upgraded scout and then an upgraded scout. Now he's getting the Artificer armor in Tier 2, which is kind of cool. I like that. And he's getting the ASM. I like saving this purchase for Tier 2, because it is a very luxury purchase. However, I would have got it after perhaps getting a vehicle out first. Or getting some more upgrades on my Tactical Marines. I think for now, Deimos isn't sure what he wants on the Tactical Marines yet, whether he wants to do a Stern Guard, Plasma Gun, or Missile Launcher, so he's just waiting. Khorne Berserkers, yes! Love to see some Berserkers. You don't see these guys very often, but honestly, they're a pretty damn good unit. Especially on this map. If you send them down the bottom of the map, they're really good as a side capper because they've got better speed than Bloodletters. They've got better retreat killing potential than Bloodletters. They've got better, well, they've got fire on the move damage. Bloodletters don't even have any. And their fire on the move damage, honestly, is pretty damn good. They're also way more resistant to piercing damage than Bloodletters. So yeah, they have some utility. The downside is they're very vulnerable to plasma. Oh, beautiful grenade from Deimos. Don't know how that didn't kill any of his Tactical Marines but it didn't. Beautifully done. Looks like the Berserkers are going to get into the Scouts though. They are going to have to retreat through them. Probably going to lose another model if they do. Berserkers should probably retreat at this point. They're going to start dropping models. Mostafa really greedy here, trying to get another gem bash. I don't like it. No, Berserkers should not be charging into the ASM here. The shotgun's right there. Yeah, good job they retreated. If they got knocked back by the shotgun blast and then the ASM were chopping them up before they retreated, man, that'd have been brutal. Could have potentially lost another 2 models. Khorne Dreadnought. Interesting. Don't know how I feel about that actually. Noise Ring Kicks might be able to kill the Force Commander here. No, he doesn't do it. Might still kill it with the bolters, to be honest. He is. Wow, that underslung bolter on the front of the Khorne Dreadnought, really powerful. But unfortunately, with the Blood Rage, he couldn't control how far it moved forward. He kind of did move way too far forward. Last Cannon's getting a lot of shots in here, a lot of damage inflicted on the Khorne Dreadnought. I would imagine that his warp ability is on cooldown again. Sorry, off cooldown, not on cooldown. Okay. Little bit of a lull in the action. Sorcerer's back on the field. We're actually going to see the Sigil of the Rift. I like that. So he's going to use that to try and pull in the Last Cannon Devastators. And yeah, you've got Khorne Berserkers and you've got double Aspiring Champion Heretics. If you can pull the Last Cannon close to your base with the melee units in front so they have to retreat through them, it's going to be a bad situation for those melee units. But nice disruption from the ASM there, using their Merciless Strike, knocking over the Khorne Berserkers. Also having For the Emperor on them to make them do extra damage, really kick the arse of those Berserkers. Part of the problem here is that the ASM are level 2 and the Berserkers are only level 1. They have equal melee skill by default, so what that means is that the ASM now will be triggering specials at a higher rate against the Berserkers, but more importantly, the Berserkers have a 0% chance to trigger specials. You can't trigger specials against a unit who has higher melee skill than you. And specials are huge in melee fights. The Berserkers have really good specials as well, so not being able to use them is a really, really big disadvantage. Pretty close game so far, I like it. Even VPs, only 60 or so between them. Looks like that's going to change now. Both of these VPs are going to fall into Deimos' hands as Mostafa claims this one back. Kind of relentless pressure on the gen farm. It's a bit late, to be honest. 171 power for Deimos. I mean, it prevents him going tier 3. He wouldn't want to go tier 3 on this much power with so few gens. That would not go well. Look at the damage that the guns do from the Berserkers here. You see, Bloodletters can't do that damage when things are running away. Bloodletters definitely wouldn't have got another kill there either. Okay, so there's no disruption yet, no Merciless Strike, so things are going a lot better for the Khorne Berserkers. Finally, the ASM did proc 1 special, and then they do get their Merciless Strike. But you can see in the 1v1, if there's no good specials and no knockback support, Khorne Berserkers will rip the floor with the ASM. It's because they all do power melee. In fact, I think they've got more HP as well. Yeah, they do. Look at that. 1,760 on the ASM. Berserkers have 1,850 at the same level. going on the back line. So scouts are being very annoying, capping a load of different points. Oh, I don't like that both units are here repairing. One of them needs to stop. And wait, hang on. Is one of them idling? Yeah, these are not both repairing. Okay, this is bad. He needs to cap the VP, keep the pressure on. I mean, it's not a huge deal, but it is something. Okay, now I'm a little bit worried for Mostafa. He is going tier 3, but there is a Dreadnought on the field. I feel like the composition of Deimos right now is a lot stronger, and he's probably going to be able to push forward and wipe out all of Mostafa's gen farm. And Mostafa right now, man, he has like no map control. He is just going to get his natural VP back. He's got one of his natural rec points, but his most natural one is now decapped, and another natural rec point of Mostafa is actually held by Deimos right now. So this is a very precarious position. Ooh, another potential retreat grenade opportunity. Let's see how Deimos does. Pretty good nade. Unfortunately, that wasn't perfect, so it's not going to wipe out the Noise Marines. That would have wiped them out if that was perfect. But he got another model for it. It was worth the shot. Okay, I think Deimos is finally committing to the push. He is. He's going to get this push. He's got no gen farm, so he doesn't have to worry about a counter bash. Berserkers are running in alone. Yeah, obviously they didn't realise that the rest of the army was there. A little bit premature with a battle cry there from the Force Commander, I think. Not really necessary. So Sigil of the Rift comes down the last cannon, but... Oh, wow. I don't think Deimos realised what just happened, because he really left his last cannon in the shit there. Blood Rage is activated by Mostafa, but I really don't like this play, because now he hasn't actually tied up the last cannon. The last cannon is just going to reset up. It's kind of bait. Might have to actually warp this Dreadnought out, you know. I don't know, I think he should be okay without needing to warp, actually. Yeah. So Deimos is going to get the Gem Bash, but actually it's a little bit late with the Gem Bash, to be honest. This took way longer than I expected. Mostafa is already in tier 3. Let's see how much power he's got. He's got 133. So he could actually get a Predator tank out now if he wanted, which... Yeah, I mean, honestly, that should be a good idea. I mean, it does in theory kill the Dreadnought kind of well, but it's not perfect, because there are Melter Bombs in the field, and there is, of course, a Las Cannon. And now he's lost his Corn Dreadnought, so yeah, this is a tricky spot. Map control still heavily in the favour of Deimos. We're going to see Terminators. Chaos Terminators are the weapon of choice. So I would expect to see a Plasma Gun on the Tactical Marines. Now that they're level 3, you definitely do not want to get a... you don't want to get Stern Guard because that resets their levels. That would be very stupid. Level 4 Plasma Gun should do quite a lot of damage to the Terminators. The Chaos Terminators do not have the same crazy HP regen that the Loyalist Terminators get. So in that sense, they're a lot less durable. Especially to constant ranged poke. Interesting, a Librarian. What an unusual choice. And They Shall Know No Fear goes down to the Tactical Marines, giving them the damage resistance and a passive chance to knock over enemies when they hit them in melee, so the Berserkers don't want to fight them while they got that buff, they just retreat out. Man, the victory points are heavily in favour of Deimos right now. Terminators finally getting onto that, going for a bit of a decap. And if they're going to throw a grenade, they are indeed. Prevents the cap. Terminators don't want to eat that grenade, that will do good damage to them. Obviously, it's not going to threaten them that much, maybe it'll do 20% damage at most, but like I say, these Chaos Terminators, they don't have the armour that the Loyalist Terminators have. They're a little bit out of date, so they don't regen HP anywhere near as fast as the Loyalist ones do. However, they are a lot harder to beat in melee. Loyalist Terminators have no melee resist, whereas Chaos Terminators do get partial 20% HP resist. I'm going to go back to base now, heal up a bit, come back out. I like the Sigil of the Rift to support them there. Obviously Terminators can't retreat, so it's nice to move them around faster with your Sigil. Not have to waste your War Globals. Deimos has a lot of red, and I mean a lot of red. 744, Jesus. Interesting nade. Worked out for him. Killed 5 heretics. Wow, Dreadnought in retreat path, cleaning up. Look at the map. Look at the map. I guess Mostafa isn't familiar with Deimos as a player. I think he's asking, like, are you Sky Silver? Because to be fair, Deimos is doing really well with these grenades here and being very annoying with his scouts. But no, this is not Sky Silver, this is Deimos. Deimos, a great example, I would say, of a player who has succeeded in entering the Dawn of War 2 multiplayer scene relatively recently. I mean, within the last year, I think. Deimos can confirm in the comments, I'm sure. And, you know, reaching that intermediate level quite clearly. I mean, Mostafa, when he is not rusty, is a very good player. I'd say a high-level player. Deimos here, handling him quite well. Must admit, I don't think Mostafa's Chaos Sorcerer usage has been great here. He's not really been landing that many good Doom Bolts, and now, you know, he's had a good war. He's using Sigil, which is cool. But I think the Robes of Torment will be very, very useful right now. Oh, this is a bad position for the Terminators. The Chaos Sorcerer has just died, so the prospect of warping them into safety is no longer here. And there is level 4 Taxwheel Plasma Gun. There was a Dreadnought in the retreat path, which is why they didn't just walk that way and had to go around. Yeah, this is rough. There is a Power Fist Force Commander chasing them, and the ASM. Yeah, this is not good. I think Mostafa might lose here. He needs to save up. Okay, no, they had the teleport. Alright. Alright, still in this, fine. I'm gonna guess that these Berserkers got grenaded again, because they are very low on HP, and I don't think shotguns can make them that low on HP at level 2. Not on their own, anyway. Plasma gun scary. Kills another CSM very quickly. Librarian was a really interesting choice. Yeah, I mean, this is just capitulation. I don't see what Mostafa can do, to be honest. His Terminators just don't cut it. If anything, the Terminators need to get Lightning Claws. That would give them more HP, and then they'd actually not have to be so scared of the ASM and the FC tying them up, or the Plasma Guns burn them. But the problem is, they'd have no counter to the Dreadnought then. You already can't deal with the Dreadnought. Oh, I don't think FC versus Sork is an imbalanced matchup. I think the Sorcerer can handle the FC very well. In fact, at high level, I think the FC is really, really, really weak against the Sorcerer. But it does depend on the map a little bit. Anyway, there you go. Mostafa in this case, unfortunately, couldn't handle the FC of Deimos. And that is a dub. Chaos Terminator's not cutting it, unfortunately. Sort yourselves out, lads. To be Terminators. Getting wrecked by some conventional Astartes. Wait till you meet the Primaris. Anyway, that's going to be all from your boy Torpid today. Thank you for tuning in, folks. If you do enjoy the video, please leave a like, leave a comment down below. And that is going to be all. Have a very good day, evening, or night. Torpid out.